The tension inside American Family Field was electric as the Milwaukee Brewers hosted the Los Angeles Dodgers for Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. The Brewers entered the night trailing 2-1, knowing this was essentially a must-win to keep their World Series hopes alive. On the other side, the Dodgers were looking to put the series on ice with a commanding 3-1 lead, and with Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts in the lineup, the challenge ahead for Milwaukee couldn't have been bigger. The night began under clear skies, with a crowd that was roaring before the first pitch was even thrown. Freddie Peralta took the mound for the Brewers, facing one of the toughest lineups in baseball. His eyes were locked in, his delivery crisp, and from the very first pitch, it was clear he came prepared to battle. On the other side, the Dodgers countered with Tyler Glasnow, who had been dominant all postseason long with his high-velocity fastball and devastating curve. The first inning started with Mookie Betts working a deep count before drawing a walk, putting immediate pressure on Peralta. Ohtani followed and ripped a line drive into the right center gap, sending Betts flying around the bases. The Dodgers wasted no time. Just like that, they were up 1-0. The energy of the Brewers crowd dipped slightly, but the home fans weren't silent for long. In the bottom half, Christian Yelich stepped up to the plate with something to prove. Glasnow tried to paint the corners, but Yelich turned on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball and crushed the stands. The crowd exploded. The series was alive, and Yelich's emotion showed, a primal scream as he rounded the bases, feeding off the energy of 40,000 fans wearing gold and navy. The second inning brought more fireworks. Peralta regained his command and struck out the side with a mix of high fastballs and biting sliders, completely freezing Dodgers hitters. The fans stood in unison, waving their rally towels as chants of "Freddie! Freddie!" echoed around the ballpark. It was that kind of night, raw emotion, high stakes, and playoff baseball at its finest. By the third inning, things started to get interesting. Ohtani came to the plate again, and this time Peralta decided to challenge him with a fastball. Big mistake. Ohtani sent a missile into the right field bleachers, his fifth home run of the postseason. The Dodgers retook the lead 2-1, and even Brewers fans couldn't help but admire the sheer power behind that swing. But Milwaukee wasn't done fighting. In the bottom of the third, Willie Adames led off with a double down the left field line, and then William Contreras brought him home with a single up the middle. The game was tied again. The tension was palpable. Every pitch, every swing, felt like it could shift the direction of the series. In the fourth, both pitchers settled in. Glasnow found his rhythm, painting the edges with precision, while Peralta's breaking ball was snapping harder than ever. The crowd's noise never stopped, and it felt like the roof might blow off the stadium with every strikeout. The fifth inning saw a turning point. With 2 outs and runners on first and second, Ohtani stepped up again. Brewers fans held their breath. Peralta threw a slider, and Ohtani missed it by inches. Then, on the next pitch, Peralta threw a changeup that caught Ohtani completely off balance, ending the inning with a massive punch-out. The roar of the crowd shook the stands. Freddie screamed into his glove as he walked off the mound. That was the kind of intensity playoff legends are made of. Glasnow matched him inning by inning, and the game stayed tied until the bottom of the sixth. That's when Milwaukee's young star, Jackson Chourio, made his moment. On a 1-2 count, Glasnow threw a curve that hung just a little too long, and Chourio sent it screaming over the left field wall. The crowd went insane. The Brewers took a 3-2 lead, and for the first time all night, it felt like Milwaukee was in control. As the game moved into the seventh, the tension reached its peak. The Dodgers weren't going down quietly. Freddie Freeman drew a walk, Max Muncy singled, and suddenly the tying run was in scoring position. The Brewers turned to their bullpen, calling on setup man Abner Uribe, one of the hardest throwers in the league. Uribe's first pitch was a 101-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike, and the stadium erupted. Then he followed it up with a slider that completely fooled Teoscar Hernandez for strike 3. 1 out. Then came the biggest at-bat of the night, Shohei Ohtani again. Uribe versus Ohtani, 2 of the game's brightest stars, head-to-head. Uribe unleashed another 100-mile-per-hour heater, and Ohtani fouled it off hard. Then, on a 1-2 count, Uribe went with a sinker. Ohtani swung and missed. Strike 3. The entire Brewers dugout leapt to its feet. That was the kind of moment that defines October baseball. The 8th inning came, and the Brewers added an insurance run thanks to Yelich again, who doubled off the right field wall and later scored on a sacrifice fly from Adames. It was 4-2 Milwaukee, and the fans could taste victory. But the Dodgers, as they've done all season, refused to quit. In the top of the ninth, closer Devin Williams came in to finish it off. Freeman worked the count full and then doubled down the line, putting the tying run at the plate. Ohtani stepped in once more. The whole stadium was on its feet, nobody was sitting. Williams threw his signature changeup, Ohtani swung, and for a split second, it looked like the ball was gone. But it hooked just foul. The next pitch, another changeup, Ohtani lined it straight to center. Caught. 1 out. Then came Mookie Betts, who grounded softly to short. 2 outs. The Brewers were 1 out away from evening the series. Max Muncy stood in, looking calm but determined. Williams fired a fastball, Muncy swung, and sent a high fly ball to deep right field. Everyone held their breath as it carried toward the wall, and Chourio made a leaping catch at the warning track. Ballgame. The stadium erupted. Players poured out of the dugout, mobbing Williams on the mound. The Brewers had done it. They tied the NLCS 2-2 and ensured the series would head back to Los Angeles for a dramatic Game 5. It was the kind of victory that reminded everyone why October baseball is unlike anything else in sports. In the post-game interviews, Yelich talked about the resilience of the team, saying, "We know what we're capable of. Nobody's counting us out in this clubhouse." Peralta, drenched in champagne and sweat, said simply, "I wanted the ball tonight. I wasn't going to let us go down easy." Meanwhile, Ohtani, ever calm and composed, acknowledged Milwaukee's effort. "They played a great game. We had our chances, but they executed when it mattered." His words carried respect, and a warning that the Dodgers would come back swinging. Fans leaving the ballpark couldn't stop chanting, "Brew Crew! Brew Crew!" as horns blared in the parking lot. It was one of those nights that would be remembered for years, the night Milwaukee punched back against one of the most star-studded rosters in baseball. Every swing, every pitch, every roar of the crowd had built up to that final out, and it reminded everyone watching why playoff baseball is pure theater. Now, with the series even, the momentum had shifted. The Dodgers had the star power, but the Brewers had the heart, and in October, heart can be enough to change everything. As Game 5 looms, the question isn't just who's better, it's who wants it more. The Brewers proved they're not afraid of the moment. And if they can carry that energy into Los Angeles, we might be watching one of the most unexpected postseason comebacks in recent memory. Because that's what makes the MLB postseason so special, it's not always about payrolls or power hitters. It's about fight, grit, and belief. And tonight, the Milwaukee Brewers showed they have plenty of all three. This wasn't just another game. It was a statement, a message to every fan and every critic: don't count the Brewers out yet. The NLCS is officially a war, and both sides are ready for battle. The stage is set for Game 5 in Los Angeles. The lights will be brighter, the pressure higher, and the stakes beyond imagination. And if Game 4 was any indication, the rest of this series might just go down as one of the greatest in recent memory. The Brewers survived the storm, found their rhythm, and showed that even against the might of the Dodgers, they belong on this stage. From Yelich's early home run to Chourio's game-saving catch, it was the perfect script, one written by a team that simply refuses to quit. And that's what October dreams are made of.